I mean, this game, you know, I played in a lot of games in this league. This one goes up there. It's a hard game to kind of swallow because you look at this game and we got this game won, you know. So, but we've been in the trenches before. We respond well in the trenches, and we'll respond well. We always do.
You know, the question is, can the Clippers tie up the series tonight against the Phoenix Suns? But I guess the bigger question is, will they tie up the series tonight? Can PG, Paul George, and the Clippers tie up the series tonight against the Phoenix Suns? I believe they can. And the reason why I say that is because I'm looking at a team who's playing with a lot of inspiration. I'm looking at a team who's playing with a lot of enthusiasm. I'm looking at a team that's playing with a lot of integrity. I'm looking at a team who just won't die. And when you have that mentality as a team, and when it's like spread all throughout the locker room and everybody has it in their DNA and everybody has it in their mentality, that's a team that really can't be stopped. Now, I will say this, the Phoenix Suns are going to come out looking a little bit more sharper than they did last game. I do believe Devin Booker might shoot a little bit better, but I still like my chances with Patrick Beverley on him, because Patrick Beverley has definitely neutralized, you know, some of his superpowers, and it's been really a joy to watch, and really has been the ultimate difference in this series, along with Ty Lue, you know, just keeping the team going and pushing the right buttons on the players. You know, it's been a roller coaster ride with this team for the most part. I think most Clippers fans can agree that it's been an emotional, crazy roller coaster ride. But when they're right, they're right. And when the Clippers are clicking, when they're playing as a team, they play really well. And I feel like, you know, what they do on the court tonight really will define what type of team they are. Because if you tie a series for the third straight time in these playoffs, to tie it 2-2 for the third straight time is going to be it's going to be incredible to even see that even happen, you know. And I do believe the Clippers are going to win tonight's game. It'll be incredible to see them tie the series up, as I just said, because, you know, to see them go through adversity in every round of the playoffs, it's like, man, they have to come out on top. If they tie the series 2-2, I definitely believe they're going to win the series. You know what I'm saying? If they tie it 2-2, they might win the series in 6 games. You know what I'm saying? Because the momentum is not only on their side, but, you know, it's almost like they're inside of the Phoenix Suns' head. You know what I'm saying? Even though, you know, the Phoenix Suns are a good team, but like I said, to me, they're not as good of a team unless they're rotating between Cameron Payne and Chris Paul. If it's all Chris Paul a whole game, I'm telling you, like, that favors the Clippers more. And you can check it out in my other video that I made a couple days ago. But it favors them more when Chris Paul's in there, because, like I said, with the game slowed down at a pace to where the Clippers can operate better, they don't have to expend and use so much energy defensively. It just makes it better for them. Because when Cameron Payne is in the game, he's blazing fast and he's a lefty. So it's like him blowing past you to the left, going to the right, finishing with the left, or finding Ayton in the paint. It's like the Suns just move faster. And when they're moving faster, they're just a better team when their offense moves faster. They just are. And that's no knock on Chris Paul. It's just that, you know, they need a balance of both. They can't use just one. And to me, that's when the Suns are at their best. I don't know if Cameron Payne's going to play tonight. But even if he does, I think he'll be limited time-wise. Who knows how bad his ankle is? It's probably swollen still, maybe not, but we'll see. And you know, that's the thing. The Clippers are going to have to capitalize off of everything. And the biggest thing in tonight's game, you know, a game like this, in which the Clippers already know because they've been here a couple times already in these playoffs, turnovers is big. Especially with a team like Phoenix. Phoenix feeds off of turnovers because they love to get out on the break, especially when Cameron Payne is in there. They just do. And the crazy thing is, Devin Booker actually plays better, seems like, when Cameron Payne is in there. because the game is moving faster and it's moving to the pace where he likes it. And, he does play good with Chris Paul. It's more, I don't know, it just seems more isolation with Chris Paul, because it's like, Chris Paul does his thing. When Devin Booker gets it, he's looking to score. He's not looking to pass or anything like that. I actually think Devin Booker's more effective when he's able to pass and score. But that's exactly what the Clippers have been able to neutralize, with Pat Bev on them. Because, to me, if the Clippers get out this series, they're really going to have to, it'll be because of Patrick Beverley. It won't really be because of Paul George. It won't really be because of anybody else, because I'm telling you, if you can hold the Phoenix Suns under 100 points, or close, right around to 100 points or anything like that, the way they did last game, you're going to beat them every time, because they're predicated on high maintenance basketball. And what I mean by that is they're predicated on, making a lot of threes and, moving the ball like precisely and getting to the spots where they can get into their big man DeAndre Ayton, who also, gets extra possessions for them because he's just a monster in the paint. And that's really how they play. What I'm saying? They play with that high intensity, and they're looking to put up points. That's just who they are as a team. They're not really this defensive juggernaut that a lot of people make them out to be. They got some good perimeter defenders. Don't get me wrong. They do. But when I watch them play, they're what I call a high maintenance team. They're looking to put up 115, 120. So it's like, if you can keep them right around the 98 to 105 range, somewhere in there, you got a great chance to beat this team. You really do. And I've said it before, they're a good team, but they're a team that the Clippers can beat, because the Clippers have something they don't. They have players off the bench that are more trustworthy. And everybody on the Clippers are veterans, really. It's not too many players on the Clippers that are not veterans. When you look at the Phoenix Suns, a lot of those players are young players. Mikal Bridges, Devin Booker's young. He's been in the league like 5-6 years. DeAndre Ayton is only like 25. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like the experience that the Clippers have on the floor with all the veterans they have can help them propel them to win this game tonight, and possibly even the series. Because when you play against guys who've been in the league longer, it's a point of knowing how to win, especially when it comes to the playoffs. It's not about the better team. A lot of times it's about the experience, knowing how to win, and knowing the little things, the basketball IQ that can get you, over the hump in these games. That's what it's all about. Getting over that hump is everything, and experienced players know that. Reggie Jackson's been in the league for a while. Paul George definitely have. Of course, Kawhi Leonard has, he's, definitely could tell them what he knows. Marcus Morris, Rajon Rondo, Ty Lue has been a, coach in the league before. Then you got Chauncey Billups on there, the coaching staff, of course. And, it's just like the whole team as a unit really understand what these moments mean. And it's like, it's really weird to say, because it's like the Clippers understand even more what the moment is and what it means and where they are in the playoffs when they're down 0-2. It's like when the Clippers are down 0-2, it's like something clicks with them. Like, hey, you know what? We're just as good as this team, or we're better than this team. And then the Clippers actually start playing better, because like I said, what I saw the other night was a team that could have stole a game in Phoenix. The way the Clippers played the other night in Game 3, they definitely could have stole a game in Phoenix. Hell, they could have won both of them. Honestly, they could have won both of them. They could be up 3-0 right now in this series. This series would be completely over with. But see, that's my point. Like, it's like, I don't know. It's like the Clippers just play better with their backs against the wall. And I feel like if this is their MO in these playoffs, then so be it. Let it be that way. I mean, I hope if they do get past this round and get to the finals, they don't start out 0-2 again. But I mean, it's like, hey, it's almost crazy theory. But hey, if it works for you, keep doing it, I guess. I mean, of course, I prefer, them to be up 2-0 or 2-1, 3-1 instead of down 0-2 in any series. But I mean, hey, the dice is falling the way it is, and everything happens for a reason. So we'll see, and even though a lot of people might not be speaking on, I'm still optimistic about Kawhi Leonard, coming back. That's definitely something to look at and keep an eye on, because like I said, they're not listing it as anything but a strain. So whether it's a strain 1, 2, or 3, knee sprain 1, 2, or 3, who knows what level it's at, but maybe it's at a level, maybe it's on a better level than what we know. Who knows about the Kawhi Leonard situation? The fact that he doesn't talk himself, and the fact that he advises people around him to keep their mouth shut, everything is kind of left up in the air. And I really hope that, I've been hearing some things about the training staff or something like that, or the medical staff is an issue. That's what I heard coming from Skip Bayless anyway, from one of his sources. But it's hard to really say about the Kawhi Leonard thing, but I will say this: if he's unhappy, Steve Ballmer and that crew, they need to make him happy going forward, because if you want this to be a dynasty type team, then you're going to have to keep your best player there. And I think Steve Ballmer wants a dynasty team. I mean, I don't think Steve Ballmer wants, a lucky championship or, just one championship. I mean, I think his ultimate goal is to get a few championships out of this thing, especially with a player of Kawhi Leonard's caliber, along with Paul George's caliber. You know what I'm saying? So the goal is to get multiple championships, not just one. And if that's the case, then hopefully the medical staff or whatever's going on there, hopefully they keep Kawhi Leonard happy, and keep everybody happy, the whole locker room happy. Hopefully they keep this team together too, because this is a really good nucleus they have. And just looking at what they have on the floor, I mean, like I said before, Reggie Jackson's been playing awesome. PG has been playing good. Terrence Mann's been playing good. Luke Kennard's been coming off the bench playing good. They got so many pieces where they play in instances. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like a different guy's game every time you look. Like last game, to me, Patrick Beverley was the player of the game. If they would have won game 2 of the series, it definitely would have been Paul George's game, because he would have knocked down both of those free throws. And I think they would have just won that game, and the series, they'd be up 2-1 right now. That's just my personal opinion. And, it's just this team plays collective and they play hard. And, when they want to play smart, they do, and that's what they're going to have to do going forward in this series, because I don't think they can afford to lose another game in this series. And that's just my opinion. I think they have to win every game they play going forward, because if you give Phoenix any momentum by winning a game with Chris Paul, it's going to be over with, because like I said, now they'll have the commanding lead, and they know their team is superior enough to beat the Clippers, especially a wounded Clippers without Kawhi Leonard. They know they're good enough to do that. They just know they are. So, I mean, they'll believe it even more if they get one more victory, because usually when you get that third win in a series, a lot of times you're the team that's going to win, you know what I'm saying? Unless it's, tied 3-3 or something like that. But if they go up 3-1 in the series, I don't like the Clippers' chances, but I still won't count them out, because the Clippers have been overly, resilient this season and this playoffs. And they've been the most, to some people, they've been the most surprising team with their, the way their resiliency. But I mean, I've watched them throughout the season, and they've had some games where they've been really resilient. Really, I remember actually the game they played against Atlanta earlier in the season, where Atlanta was up by 25, I think, and Ty Lue took out all the starters, and Terrence Mann and Luke Kennard and the whole bench went in there and brought them back. This was actually a home game in LA too. I actually remember that. It was like one of the craziest games I've seen in the regular season. And then when the bench players actually helped the Clippers come back, Ty Lue inserts the starters again, PG and all them, and Kawhi and all them, and PG started playing good, Kawhi started playing good, and Kawhi ended the game with like a big 3, like dead down the middle, you know what I'm saying? And it was it was a great game to watch. It was just a collective effort of how good and how deep this team is. So, I definitely won't count the Clippers out at any point, at any stretch. But I'm definitely anticipating tonight's game. They've shown me a lot of resiliency throughout the season and, throughout these playoffs. And they've done it missing players. Because, Serge Ibaka, as much as people may not want to speak on him, he is a big, vital piece to what they can do. Of a dominant team they really could be. If they had Serge Ibaka at his best, I'm telling you, I don't think they would be up 2-0 in every series if they had him. Of course, Kawhi Leonard too, but if they had Serge Ibaka, a guy in the paint who's like a threat as a shot blocker, and he could stretch the floor shooting threes the way Ibaka can, I think the Clippers would be unbeatable. The Clippers would be unbeatable. And I think they'd be unbeatable now if they had Ibaka, even without Kawhi Leonard, because Ibaka, of course, he's not Kawhi Leonard, but he is one of those type players where you can count on him to be who he is. Like if he's going to give you, 14 and 7 a game, well, then that's what he's going to do. If he's going to give you 14 and 7 a game with 2 or 3 blocks, then Ibaka's going to do that consistently. When he's at his best, he's at his best. And I feel like if they had his dynamic, Zubac, it would take more pressure off Zubac, and they would just be more of a threat to any team they play. So, I'm really, anticipating to see tonight's game, even though, like I said, the Clippers are down some players or whatever, but they've been down, throughout the season and all the way up to now, and it hasn't stopped them. So we'll see exactly how that goes. And I want to see, I want to see a really good game. I believe we will. I'm going Clippers 116 to 112. Clippers, I'm giving them the edge. It's going to be a close one, but I do think the Clippers pull it out, and I think we're tied 2-2 going back to Phoenix, and we'll see what happens from there. But hey, let me know your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think, and we can engage and talk about it. And Cali out.